Hey guys, today we're going to go ahead and start graphing quadratics, and we're going to go ahead and just try to make it very nice and easy, very simple. And what I always use with my students is the three letters YRV, and stands for Yummy Red Vines. Okay, and it's just something for the kids to remember. Y stands for y-intercept, R stands for the roots, and V stands for the vertex. Okay, y-intercept. This is you're often going to see it written in this form. That's your standard equation for a quadratic, and you know A, B, and C. Now your y-intercept is always going to be this constant right here by itself. And if you remember, that's my x-axis, that's my y-axis. This means that this particular graph is going to cross at -6. So if I start here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right about here. Okay, that is my y-intercept. So I already have a reference point about where this graph is going to cross. Okay, so that was very easy. And remember, this is a point, 0, -6. The roots, now the roots basically are the x-intercept. So this parabola, remember, it's going to be a U shape, it's a quadratic, is going to cross somewhere around here. I don't know where, so I have to find out. Now, the easiest way to do this is I have to solve for x. Okay, so if you want, you can go ahead and set it equal to 0. Now remember, when you're solving for a quadratic, you're basically factoring. Okay, so I'm going to try to x factor this guy. So the factors of x squared, there's going to be x and x. And what factors of -6 would combine to give me a -1? That would be -3 and +2. Okay, let me test it out. X times 2x will be 2x. X times a -3 will be -3x. When I combine this, 2 minus 3x is -1x. And that's what I wanted, that middle term. So when this factors out, we'll have x minus 3 times x plus 2. And remember, we're going to set it equal to 0. Because remember, that's what the x-intercept is. It crosses at the x-axis. So we are using the zero product property. X minus 3 equals 0. X plus 2 equals 0. So when we solve this, we see that x is equal to 3 and x is equal to -2. Now remember, these are different points. Don't put these two together. So this is going to be 3, 0. And this one is -2, 0. So when I come to my graph over here, I have 3, 1, 2, 3 right here. Hopefully you can see my graph. And then -2 is right here. Okay, 1, 2, and that's 3, and that's 2. Okay, so you can see now it's starting to take shape. So y-intercept, my roots are the x-intercept. Now the last one, I left it last because it's a little bit more time-consuming, challenging. It's the vertex. Okay, now the good thing about this parabola is there's a middle. It's symmetrical, so the left is going to look like the right. So where's that middle point? Where's the halfway point? Well, we're going to go ahead and do this real quickly. If you count the distance between these 2 points, if you find the middle, the halfway point, that's going to be your line of symmetry. So if we say, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces. Okay, and we cut that in half. What's half of 5? That's 2.5. Okay, so from each point, it should be 2.5. So 1, 2, and then half will be right about there. Now that means my line of symmetry is going to be right here. Okay, and we'll go right up here. Alright, so that the left is going to look like the right. Now the vertex is also a point. Now we have a special equation that we use. It's -b over 2a. Okay, now b and a, where does that come from? Remember, a, b, and c. So a is your x squared, b is your x, and c is the constant that's by itself. So if you notice, this x value here is 1/2. Let me just go ahead and mark this. This is 3 comma 0. This is negative 2 comma 0. And this is negative, oops, I'm sorry, 0 comma negative 6. Okay. Now here, negative. Now what's the value for b? Remember, use the whole thing. Whatever sign is in front of that variable, you have to use it. It's a negative. Okay? It's a negative, so it's a negative 1. And then 2 times the value for a, which is a positive 1. Okay? So we're going to get negative times negative is a positive 1. 2 times 1 is 2. So the x value is 1/2. And you see that's what we got here. So this is a lot quicker instead of doing all this, because sometimes it'll get difficult, especially with fractions. Now the last thing is we need well, where does it cross? Okay, where does it cross? I know it crosses here, here, and down here. So maybe somewhere down here. But I need an exact value. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this value and I will plug it in here. Okay, and if you notice, I'm going to use my equation. So I have y equals, instead of x, I will put my 1/2. Okay, minus, instead of x, put 1/2, and then minus 6. Okay, now it's very important you put parentheses around the x. Okay, because that helps us with the symbols outside, so we don't get confused. So now we're trying to figure out the y value. 1 squared is 1, 2 squared is 4, minus 1/2, minus, I'm going to make this whole number into a fraction, an improper fraction. Now we need common denominators, and the common denominator is going to be 4. So this guy I'm going to multiply him by 2. Remember, top and bottom. Same thing over here by 4. We're going to get 24 over 4, and we just do our math. 1 minus 2 is negative 1. Negative 1 minus 24 is negative 25, divided by 4. Or, let's try to get a whole number here. How many times is 4 going to 25? That'll be 6. We're going to have 1 left over, and that'll be 4. And remember, it's negative. So, my x value, I'm going to put v for vertex, is 1/2, comma, negative 25 over 4. And a lot of times we leave it as an improper fraction. We don't normally change it into a mixed number, but it's okay. So from here, we're going to go ahead and go down negative 6 spaces and another quarter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and maybe another quarter, maybe around here somewhere. Okay. And now we can go ahead and sketch the graph. Okay, and you're going to see it has to pass, so hopefully I can do this something like that. And we got, let's see here, try to make it neat. There we go, something like that. Okay, and this is the sketch of my parabola. Okay, the other thing you notice is it's facing up. The x squared is positive, it faces up. If there was a negative in front, it would face down. Okay, but remember, YRV, yummy red vines. The y-intercept is the number by itself. The roots, well, those are just the x-intercepts. And to figure that out, we try to x factor, okay, and then set them equal to 0. The last thing is the vertex. Well, the vertex is, we use negative b over 2a. And remember, this is your a, b, and c. Okay, or if you want to find the line of symmetry, just count the spaces, divide them into half. Okay, and then whatever you get for your x value, go ahead and substitute them back into the equation, solve it, and you get your y value. Now in the beginning, it is a lot of work, but I know you guys can do it. Send me an email if you have any questions, guys. Hopefully this helps.